online, on FM and DAB Digital. This is UWS News.
It's 11 o'clock, I'm Callum Kerr. A petition to scrap graduation fees at UWS has gained over 2,100 signatures in its first week. Students currently have to pay at least £82 if they want to graduate in person. Student body president Emma Shotter is backing the campaign.
One of my main aims was around graduation fees, and unfortunately it's been a very difficult area to get progress with the university, but a genuine student-led campaign on this seemed like a really good way of getting some progress on it.
The university say they are considering a graduation scholarship fund to help students who need financial support. Police in Ayrshire are set to crack down on drug misuse. Chief Superintendent Paul Main has made it a top priority and is set to launch a local campaign. A report last year named Ayrshire as having the highest number of drug deaths in Europe. Exam season is underway in Scottish schools, but how do pupils deal with stress? Earlier this week, mental health charity Sam H launched its Testing Times campaign to offer advice to any pupils suffering. Pam Steele is a spokesperson for the charity.
Providing some top tips. For example, we would really encourage young people to take regular breaks when they're doing the revision. They will obviously, or we hope that they plan out a study timetable, but within that they really need to give themselves time to stop, to rest, to refresh themselves.
Fake news is being partly blamed for a big drop in the number of children getting measles vaccinations. UNICEF says 500,000 youngsters didn't get protection over an 8-year period in the UK alone. Health Secretary Matt Hancock wants scare stories and lies about the vaccine removed from the internet.
I've called in the social media companies, I'm seeing them on Monday, to talk to them about what they can do about stopping this sort of material being spread, being promoted.
And now we have Callum with sports.
Members of the Scottish national team have reacted to the news of McLeish's sacking.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all. McLeish been sacked. It's clear that the fans and the players went behind him. I myself wanted him to go as well. He clearly wasn't the right man for the job. He should never have been back in the first place.
That was Ross Clark, a member of the Tartan Army, expressing his views on the decision. He also believes that now it is paramount that SFA get in the right replacement.
And now it's basically about getting the right man in that will get us a bit of momentum for the playoffs coming up. I think that's absolutely crucial. So hopefully things will start to change from now on.
Over to rugby, and Ayr, Carrick and Cumnock MP Bill Grant will be visiting Ayr Rugby Club later today ahead of their Scottish Cup final next Saturday. Mr Grant's visit starts a 9-day media campaign before the final at BT Murrayfield on the 27th. Ayr play Heriots, who finished just 4 points behind them in the league. The game kicks off at 3:30pm. The university's sporting calendar has come to a close after a very successful campaign for Team UWS. They picked up a personal best medal tally, and sports president Merla Hill is optimistic for what comes next.
I'm super excited to see what the future brings for Team UWS, what the next season brings, and I really hope to see as many of you as possible signing up for teams next year joining us.
Climate change campaigners are targeting London's financial sector this morning, saying the government still isn't listening. They briefly blocked access to the London Stock Exchange, and at Canary Wharf, police used ladders, ropes and harnesses to remove passengers from trains. 5 people have been arrested. This man was part of the process.
We in the human population have been taught that this is the way of life. It isn't. It's a way of death. And that's because the more we take, the less there is for future generations, for the poorest peoples who are already got next to nothing.
North Korea's leader has met the Russian president for their first ever talks. Vladimir Putin began by telling Kim Jong-un he supports the country's efforts to make peace with America, and he would like to help. Discussions between the secretive state and the US broke down in February. Introducing exercise into day-to-day life can help reduce fatigue for people with multiple sclerosis. That's according to the MS Trust, who are encouraging people to be active as part of MS Awareness Week, and say it can also improve mental health. Lyndon Muirhead from the charity says this wasn't always the case.
In the past, people were told not to exercise because it was thought that would be more tiring and that people with MS wouldn't be able to cope with that. But for some time now, there's been emerging evidence around the fact that actually exercise is good for people with MS.
Over to sport, and Manchester City held their nerve in the Premier League title race last night, beating local rivals Manchester United 2-0 at Old Trafford. Bernardo Silva and Leroy Sané struck the back of the net in the second half to leapfrog Liverpool in first. City boss Pep Guardiola admits the victory last night could be pivotal in the title race.
We showed that we want to do it, and after the quality of the players make the rest, we make a good victory. Be calm now, rest, because now we go to Burnley. It's tough to say, no, with 89 points or Liverpool 88, we are not champion with 3 games left. It's almost incredible, but it's what it is.
Former Rangers captain John Gregg has laid a wreath at the statue of Billy McNeill at Celtic Park in tribute of his former opponent. Messages of condolence from around the world continue to pour in since McNeill's death on Monday. British tennis bosses have expressed disappointment after it was announced yesterday the ATP finals will be leaving England. The ATP revealed Turin has been chosen as the new host after 12 years in London. Cash Farouk will defend his British bantamweight title against Kyle Williams tonight at the Radisson Blu in Glasgow. 23-year-old Farouk will aim to extend his unbeaten record to 12 fights in front of a hometown crowd. Mo Farah says he's had his phone, cash and a watch stolen from his hotel room in Yaya Africa Athletic Village in Addis Ababa. He's criticised long-distance legend Haile Gebrselassie for not responding to attempts to contact him over the theft. Today's weather is bright and dry. That's all for now, more in an hour.